All right, let's go. It's upper bracket finals time for the EU Valencia regionals. And this was the best EU regionals I think I've ever seen. Down in the bottom right side, we've got Reynor, the young gun, the Italian stallion, ever arrogant, ever cocky. And of course, the man that has been in the grand finals, the world championship 3 times in the last 3 years. That's right, 2019, the end of that year, BlizzCon for the 2019 season. He made it to the finals. Versus Dark, ended up losing that, won the next one, wrapping up the 2020 season in early 2021 with the swap over to Katowice as the World Championship, and once again made it to the finals and barely lost to Cyril in 2022, wrapping up the 2021 season. So it's just, I mean, that consistency in the biggest tournaments of the year, often when it seems like he's not even practicing that hard, he's clearly out partying and having fun. Screwing around with Protoss a lot recently as well. I mean, I love to see it. It's awesome. He's going to be going for the hatchery on the natural there. He's up against Clem in this series, guys. No one to be scoffed at. Clem is a beast. His TBZ's out of this world. Recently, he's had a few games I've seen where he went back to his Widowmine style, which I think is just the bomb. I think when he opens up Widowmine, Parade Push, and Multi-Prong style, Clem can basically just smother his opponents. But I do think the secret to his weakness has been discovered by players like Dark, who basically just opt for... Is it Roach pressure? Are we going Roach Horn here? No. Okay, it's just a pull first expand. No worries. He figured out that just counterattacks. He said, don't let him get going. If you let Clem get going, dude, things are rough, man. Dude, like, it's just... he was unbeatable for a while, and people figured out that he was unbeatable if he was dictating. Like, you just cannot keep up with his pace. But 2 things happened. People started backstabbing him constantly so that he had to react to them, and suddenly he wasn't as unstoppable. His offense far outscaled his defense, is what people realized, right? Like, I think of, certain fighters who are so good when they're the one just out swinging combos. But against the moment someone just puts enough pressure and is always initiating and surprising them, and then they suddenly they freeze up a bit and start to get overwhelmed. And it's not that Clem freezes up and looks like a terrible player, but he just doesn't look as god tier when the opponents... Oh, the Hellions are over here? Guess what? Lings are in your natural. Oh, you're trying to do a pressure on me? Banelings rolling into your third. Doing that over and over again is just a great way to keep Clem under control. And it was Dark who originally shut down his win streak, because we've had crazy stories of these win streaks. Reynor never had one. Reynor is one of the very top dog prodigies, him and Dark, who never really had that same win streak because they play a bit more of a wild style. But Clem had an unbeaten streak in series, best of series in Zerg vs Terran for like 60 series. It was insane. Cyril dominated 2018 every Premier tournament he played. Maru dominated Korea every tournament in 2018. But Clem got shut down by Dark, and I feel like that showed the way. Dark beat him a bunch of times, just constant Ling run-bys. Every time Clem tried to attack him, Dark would be attacking him somewhere else. And suddenly Clem just, that aura disappeared. Clem has also tried to round out his play by doing a lot more Siege Tank rather than Widowmine play a bit more towards the late game. He's going to go for the Hellion dive. Not going to pay off. Good defense by Reynor. Shuts down the first Hellion. Second Alien's already so weak, and it takes 3 shots to kill drones. But wait, there's no Queen in the main. Okay. I mean, already forcing an Evo Chamber is not too bad, and just going to be a very annoying... Oh, the Sport! Oh my god, Reynor is so clutch when it comes to scrappy defense. Does finally shut it down. Hellions at the front just poking. Now, this is a quick Banshee opening. Clem here playing very safe. He's not playing the 3 command center, so he kind of needs to get damage done. He's down 8 workers here, which is rather standard for the matchup, but without a 3rd command center started yet, he definitely needs to make sure he gets good value. He's got to keep Reynor off droning this 3rd base for a little bit longer if possible. Reaper on the right side goes for the creep tumor, doesn't get it, and the Lings will snag that Reaper. That's frustrating for Clem. Queen's doing a really good job with their movement of defending. 3rd CC goes down at 4 minutes 30 in the natural wall. And without the Reaper, you can't really bounce those Queens. It would have been really nice if you had a Reaper with that, but good Queen split. Reynor, the player who invented the Queen split, you can see he's got Group 3 here, Group 2 there. And he's going straight double Evo behind this. So he feels like, hey, you're throwing so many Hellions away, there's no way you're going to do a Hellbat timing or anything like that. I don't need a Bailey Nest, I don't need a Roach Horn. But, Banshee will come in a little bit before Cloak's done, gets a drone. Looks like these spores are perfectly timed, in fact. Well played by Reynor. I mean, the Banshee can still deny the gas mining. You can see here, we're on Reynor's vision, and that's just outside of vision, so got to be careful there. Lair has not started yet. He's going Carapace melee, though. Great upgrade so far. Double eBay and the barracks going down. Banshee does grab a drone kill there. Denies gas mining momentarily. Double gas goes down here as well. So it's double barracks added, so up to 3 barracks, then double eBay, then the gases, and then the 4th and 5th barracks will come down after that. Oh, he dodges those queen projectiles. Well done by Clem. The other Banshee actually also can cloak. He's got a fair bit of energy, and remember, there's no overseers for a while, but Reynor with good micro, he allows those tumors to finish. It might be worth a scan on this angle. Feels to me like Clem wants to push this angle. He wants to try and get the tanks up here later. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Reynor is going to take this 4th base and really focus on defending the south side of the map. Tanks are in production, so as I told you guys, Clem, much more focused on tank styles these days. Doesn't give him that same forwards momentum and just non-stop aggression as he used to have with the Widow Mines. Is a bit more solid on the defense, though. 4th base goes down. That is a late lair. My god, that's a Serral lair. I'm going to make bloody 85 workers and just shut you down with Mass Queen and Zergling. And as long as it's in time to start his 2-2, his Baneling speed, I mean, he should be able to defend any early push with just Lings and Queens, even just slow Banelings mixed in. And that's because he's got good creep spread. He's got dominance over the map, and he's ahead on the workers quite significantly. Good repair on the Banshee there for Clem. Clem is starting to move out this south side. 1 tank, handful of Marines. I'd like to see... a second tank would be real nice. He's going to try and push the watchtower, utilize the sight blockers in the terrain, at least to open up a bit of an avenue. It's not a bad move, but that's a big Ling run by it. Oh my lord. Clem, watch out. This is what I was talking about. The Ling backstabs. Ah, they get in. Oh no, he's going to try and dive on the front to punish this. The Lings don't get in the main. That's something. At least Clem manages to raise 1 base. He's got Banshees defending at home as well, but that's a lot of Zerglings running forward on the front. He does keep his Marines alive. The Banshees and the Rally are going to keep it alive. Clem doesn't take the critical damage. It's still huge. Don't get me wrong. He's down 16 workers, and Banelings are morphing. Reynor's Queens are still standing as a solid rock in front of him, a wall in front of him, I should say. Baneling's going to roll into that base. The Banshees, as long as they're on the D, I do think Clem can get back to rallying to the front. He's got a tank on the high ground that he needs to get down here. The Marines and the Hellions are dancing around. More Lings running in. Depot raises this time with Marines in a corner with Medivacs healing them. Banshees overhead. Those Banshees will get sick value. Oh, a couple Queens go down. Good multitask here for Clem. Tanks, Marines will do well. Banelings rolling in. Good SCV spready. The Drilly boys take a few hits. 7 more go down. But Reynor's Bane speed is still nowhere near done, and he's getting punished. If Clem can get another tank or 2 down here, I mean, he's starting to get some really good value. Those Queens are out of transfuse energy. These 1-1 Marines are doing very well. How many Medivacs has he lost? Not a single one. Units lost tab is in his favor. Reynor's trying to get this base. Some workers up on it. He's trying to just mass link Bane. When 2-2 and Bane speed are finished, obviously it's going to massively turn around the momentum. Right now it's just Libs, Marines, and tanks. Clem feeling very all in, and Reynor is not giving him a moment's peace. A good offense here is the way to keep Clem back. Clem, though, very well done. He's going to hunt that down with the Banshees. Those Banelings do have to cancel. Those Banelings, sorry, have to cancel their morph. The Ling's still moving around. I think maybe Clem glimpses that. Big Ling Bane run by coming in. Oh my god, he's going to have to just F2 back here for sure. That's so many units coming in. Oh my god, spread. Oh, the tank focus fire. Got almost all of the Banelings. 1 more Bane is rolling in there, though, and it's going to get a big, juicy hit. If he gets in the pocket, though, he only loses 5 SCVs. Nicely done here. Clem still has position on the south side. He's got the Marines there. They're going to trade pretty well. The tank gets a few shots off, but does lose that tank finally, and he's going to have to just pick up at least a few of those Marines and save him. Reynor's thinking about jumping on top of this army, and he does actually get a decent little engage here. A sloppy, scrappy fight on both sides. I don't know who's coming out on top here. The supply is dead even. Balls to the wall. Crazy fighting going on. Reynor happy to keep things messy as long as the fighting is away from his side of the map. These Lings will get cornered. 2-2, though. He's bought the time. He's bought the time. He's got 2-2. Does he have any army left to use it with? 11 Zerglings? Holy shit, that's not a lot. But a lot of creep spread, buying him a moment's time. The Libs, the tanks, it's all going to siege up here in a moment. Oh, Reynor with a good move forward. He gets one of the Libs before the fight really even starts. That's a big move. Banelings roll in. 11 more SCVs go down. Clem is all in right now. Reynor is relentless on the backstabs. He doesn't have many units on the front, but he's got creep spread and he's got Banelings, and his creep tumors never got cleaned up on the north side. That means this creep is not going to recede. It's always going to be on that north. There's only going to be an opening here. That's a lot of Link Bane. The Marines are very clumped up, and they are not stimmed right now. Oh, he's got to focus the Banes down. He does focus a few of them down. There we go. Very nicely done with the Marine focus, but almost all the tanks and libs are gone. Indeed, they are all gone. 1-1 versus 2-2 upgrades. Gonna favor Reynor in these engagements. Even though he's down on the numbers, Clem's gonna have to pick up and get out. He's gonna go for the drop there. He's building up at home. More libs, more tanks, more Marines trying to build, but he is not really progressing his situation, and he forgot to start +2 weapons. He only started +2 armor in the chaos. Oh no, Clem chucking a Beyond there. For those who don't know, Beyond is famous for, in high pressure situations, only starting the armor upgrade and not the attack upgrade. Clem doing the same thing there. No doubt only having the money for one, and he probably just spam clicked both buttons one after the other. Happened to hit the armor button first. Not the best way to do it. Ooh, Banelings do roll forward. Watch out, Linglongs. Big Linglongs. Banelings rolling in on the front. Reynor in and out on all sides, he says, distracting you there. And then when you're not looking, guess what? The Banelings roll in on the front. Reynor, a master of the attention management and trying to pull his opponent around. Both players nearing on 500 APM. It is actually an insane battle of speed when these two fight. They are both trying to catch the other player, not looking, constantly feinting, running in to distract. But that fourth baser, Reynor's in trouble. Reynor is a fifth on the top that's saturated though. Doesn't even matter. That 270-degree flank comes in. The libs are going to get taken out by the queens. One of them maybe gets out of there. The drop's going to have to go past into the main. Clem does not know that this base is full on the top side. That's a disaster. He knows there's a hatchery. The fact that it is fully mining is an absolute disaster for him, though. Oh, mass Ling run by! The siege tank will not defend that. No. The SCVs are ransacked. This drop tries to pull home, but it almost dies to the medevacs. Marines will drop on the north side, but remember, it is still 2-2 versus 1-2 upgrades, and the most important upgrade is the lead there for the Zerg. Oh my god, Ling's tearing up the bases. That drop gets defended. Re-attacking on the south side is Clem, but the Lings are in his base. We talked about his Achilles heel. It's constant backstabs, and it's saying, oh, you want to micro the front? No. You have to micro on the defense. If you keep Clem having to micro 2 fights at once, he cannot execute as perfectly as he wants to. Reynor just dialing up the counter aggression in map 1. All right. Let's go, gang. In the top right side, we got Clem. I think he did a pretty good job of keeping himself in that game. Those early run-bys were kind of brutal, but he kept that position on the south, and it's just, I think Reynor's creep management and then the double upgrades were so well done. And I think if you're so late on Baneling speed like that, you kind of have to play backstab, because fighting on the front, your Banelings are just never going to connect. So you kind of have to just keep the Terran busy chasing you around, and then bam, Bane speed's ready. Okay, we can actually fight. 2-2's ready. We're ahead. Heck yeah. Alright, so we've got gas pool there, hatchery there as well. Solid openings. Notice that Reynor's actually looking for proxy barracks, guys. Now that's fascinating to me because I don't think I've ever seen Clem proxy barracks. Now, I actually really feel this in my heart. If I was coaching Clem, guys, I would actually coach him on proxy barracks. I would be like, you need to proxy racks more. Why? Because, and this is something where it's one of my things where it's harder for me to back up with like stats because I haven't really looked into the numbers. But after watching and following and competing in StarCraft for 12 years, I'll tell you, as a player who's competed, when a Terran mixes in a proxy racks 1 in 3 or 4 games, it is much more nerve-wracking, the opening. You're much more likely to send a drone out to scout, and you get really frustrated. You're more on edge from the start. So that's one thing. The second thing is the fact that it often just gets free wins, easy wins. I mean, have you guys seen the win rate of proxy barracks? It's absolutely insane. I never see that build lose, as the meme goes. But honestly, it's something where you go back to MVP, the King of Wings, regular proxy barracks. Marine King Prime, one of the guys in the early days, lots of proxy barracks. Maru, best Terran of all time at this point, I think we can probably call him. Constant proxy barracks is always, he does it all the time. Beyond constant proxy barracks. It's something where I think just mixing it in a little bit, doing the dirty, really hard aggression from the start once in a while, especially when you're such a good mechanical micro player, it really makes things difficult for your opponent. You're going to get your opponent to do more safe pull first openings, more super weird, like send out a drone scout, all that sort of stuff. Look at this micro, guys. Look at the micro. He's so annoying, man. Now he's going 3cc this time around, so Clem's going back to basics. He's like, okay, let's go back to the normal stuff. Reynor also opening pretty straightforward, pretty solid here. Now notice Reynor, he likes to really spread that tumor in the main. This is something I do every game, which is learnt from Scarlet, and she learnt it from Reynor. So you guys, of course, some of you would have seen that on that video of her coaching me over on our coaching channel. Go check it out if you guys haven't. If you want to see some super hardcore, very slow, methodical content on how to beat Terran. Super solid ZvT. The details that pro gamers have got there is huge. So that creep's going to kind of fill all these gaps right to the edge, make it really hard. Link speed came in behind it as well. Constant queen production. And you're going to see Reynor already very soon. We'll split these queens into 2 groups. So one can be there, one can be here. So very near he'll do that. Overlord goes in for the sack. I like this. And you know what? If he quickly turns around on seeing the command center, he can save the Overlord. But he's going to continue. He's like, no, one-way trip. Let's just go through, see what we're up against. Safety Banshee for Clem. That's interesting. So that's just a defensive Banshee. He's not going to bother going Cloak, I don't think. He could. But nah, it's a fake. If he would have waited till the Overlord was dead if he was going to seriously commit to it. If he commits to Cloak here, it's really bad in my opinion. So I expect him to cancel that, and I want him to cancel that. I think Cloak Banshees can be a very effective unit, but if the Zerg knows it's coming, it goes from, okay, this could do very well to, yeah, this is probably going to achieve very little. We expect Reynor to go for lair either as soon as this queen pops or as soon as that queen pops out. And notice he's got that queen spready we were talking about. Because of that, it's beautiful. The one thing he's lacking is an Overlord on the far right side, but hey, as I say it, this Overlord's moving out to fill that gap in his vision. And it is going to be Cloaked Banshees. Okay, it's a pretty big investment, man. It's a pretty big investment against a guy whose lair's already started. We'll be able to make Overseers, already has the queen split up. I think the Banshees are they're going to be good on the defense and on the map control, but you cannot lose them. You've really got to make sure you keep them alive because they're like building an Oracle. It's the value it gets over being alive for 5-10 minutes that makes it worth it. It's not the initial damage. Not against a player like Reynor who's already scouted it coming. Spores do go down right on time. They're kind of late spores, actually. So Reynor being especially greedy, but that being said, I mean, he saw 3 CC to open, so fair enough. Banshee goes in. Banshee turns around. Reynor's creep is going to be very powerful. You can't give him too much room. The last game, Clem was in his face, keeping the creep back. This sort of game, where you've got the 3rd command center up, it's a different story. Reynor's going to be like, spread the creep. It's like a little kid with paint on their hands, just smearing it all over the walls, you know? That's Reynor if he's allowed to have a nice, clean early game. Banshees come in, but there's already an Overseer there. Gets a few tumors. That's not bad. Anytime you're doing that, you are reducing the energy, reduces their potential usefulness in future fights, slows the creep spread down just marginally. And he takes the 4th on the left side. I wonder, does he take this 5th or does he go to the corner? I imagine he just takes the central hatchery, though it's very vulnerable. 1-1 upgrades are on the way for Clem. And 4th and 5th barracks does go down as well. He's getting the depot wall here. Very effective, that depot wall. Banshee's still veering around looking for damage, but man, the way Reynor manages his queens, his creep gets out there so hard. Now, what's interesting, he's got 5 queens on 3, 3 queens there, and then he's got his 3 injecting queens as well on number 5, just to make injecting a little bit easier. And interesting to see that mechanical technique. I think he's got to make sure he doesn't ignore this creep path on the right side, just because that front hatchery is always in a little bit of trouble. 1-1 upgrade starts up now, a minute 20 behind, so Clem's got a very healthy upgrade lead, but you've got the Overseers for control, the Spores here, which are going to, of course, stop future drops as well, and you've got the fact that there is just an amazing amount of workers, so Reynor's taking the 5th in the center. He's just going to really shove that creep forward. Clem's finally getting what appears to be a Biomine parade push style going, but is there already too much creep in 83 workers? 4th CC starts here at 7 minutes. He's going mega macro. Clem just wants to play the big macro game. 2nd factory's already up on the Tech Lab. Armory finishes to start 2-2. I like Clem's style. Clem's really just going to take Reynor to the big macro game. This all comes down to how the Widow Mines are used and how they are diffused by young Reynor. Great save on that Widow Mine, but doesn't really create any opening, right? And this creep is spreading forwards, man. Dude, it's like a cancerous growth. It just does not stop. You got to be careful. You got to get in there with some chemo quick fast, Clem. You got to get rid of this. He needs some more pressure out there, but he's actually being very conservative right now, and he's going to start multi-pronging. That's the way. Hydras are already coming. Muscular Augments on the way. Grew Spines queued behind that Infestation Pit, so he will be transitioning Lurkers. With that timing, it looks like we should have Lurkers hitting the field with upgrades, probably for about a 10:45 timing. So it's not a super fast timing. Reynor's definitely going to want to do some stuff with Lingbane Hydra before the Lurkers are out, get some run-bys going, slow down the 4th and 5th base of Clem if possible. Queen's moving forward. There's a lot of Widow Mines in here. 1 queen goes down. Oh, friggin' Widow Mine, man. I think he actually avoided most of the friendly fire on it by picking up at the last second. But damn, those Widow Mines. It was a good drag by Reynor getting them in on the friendly fire. Looks like a bunch of Marines died on the right side as well. Clem being defended on both sides simultaneously. His fourth is going out right now. But Hive is on the way. He's not keeping Reynor stuck on low tech or anything like that. This creep continually respread. Oh my god. You savage. You see that creep tumor as Clem, and you feel a lot of pressure. The amount of creep, right? Reynor is not winning this game by killing him. He's winning this game by covering the map in creep and saying, do something about it, dickhead. And so far, okay, does split against these Widow Mines, trying to watch two different fights at once. Sorry for the zoom there. There we go. Okay. Oh my god, that's a lot of Banelings. Oh my god, he just rolls over, gets caught in the mid-ground. The Widow Mine's running a bit far forward for Clem. Clem just getting shoved back by the Mass Hydra. None of those Widow Mines firing at all. And now Clem is pushed too far back. The fact that his combat shields was so late, I think was really huge in these last few fights. Just having those 10 less hit points on all these Marines is massive. Reynor has had too good a start. We often talk about Reynor having the best Zerg versus Terran in the world and getting way further ahead than anyone else can. He regularly is 50 supply ahead on Maru at this stage of the game, and he's found his way there against Clem as well, the best momentum TVZ player in the world. He's just like, Jesus, how are you in such a good spot? What the hell? And Reynor's creep. It's like, dude, you snip the end off, but it's re-spreading on the right, on the left, everywhere, every single front, and that is huge. The Ling spreadies are huge. They are so good, and he's not able to stand his ground. Clem just doesn't have the numbers to stand his ground. There's so many Hydras here as well. Overseer's even dragging the Widow Mines. Does he have the numbers to defend? I don't think so. 2-2 upgrades are kicking in right now here for Clem. That was a good Widow Mine hit, but the other one's not able to find the mark. And that's what happens when you're getting overrun and you're playing Widow Mines. Your Widow Mines aren't as effective because your Marines are too busy running backwards. That means you cannot gun down the front-running Zerglings. If you don't gun down the front-running Zerglings or manually retarget your mines, then they're just going to hit individual Zerglings. They're not going to be able to hit the big center of Ling Bane that you really want to find. So when you're on the back foot like this and you're constantly spreading and running away from Banes, you don't have the APM to also micro the mines or to gun down the front wave of Zerg, and that's a huge problem. Now we see Clem finally getting a good force together. It looks like he will be able to max out in the near future. He's not just going to get overrun straight away. Reynor attacking into a bit of a choke point. A little bit crazy to be fighting this hard off creep, especially without his 2-2 upgrades, but he's bought himself a lot of time, a lot of space, and those lurker upgrades are on the way. Clem is getting close to even in army supply. There's a good number of Banes though, which means it's a very deadly army supply for the Zerg. The Marines once again having to run backwards, trying to focus down these Banes. They are going to gun down pretty much every Baneling. Good fight for Clem. But so many units, even the Queen's coming forward. There might just be too much Zerg. The +2 Carapace kicked in as well, which is massive. The Widow Mines burrowing and unburrowing, trying to get the proper shots off. If he can ever break Reynor's push and kill the Hydras, suddenly this game is going to turn around and Clem's going to be fine. Clem does have a 5th on the way. He's mining 4 bases. He's hanging on like a bloody champ right now. Reynor had a lot of momentum, and he's still at this forward position, which is very nasty. His creep still spreading. Clem, though, it's like, no, dude, get out of here. There's no way, but watch out for these Widow Mine friendly fires, like I said. And there we go. Anytime you're running backwards, Widow Mines are shit units. The moment you're kind of outnumbered, outgunned, and running backwards, Widow Mines are not that powerful. It's not like a disruptor that gets you back in a game. Widow Mine drop 11 drones, not bad. Knocking Reynor down to a tiny, minuscule 87 workers. What a terrible economy. Obviously, I'm joking, guys. Reynor has so many workers. He can trade like this for days. He doesn't care about losing 5 or 10 workers here or there. It's a good move for Clem to pull Reynor's attention away, get a bit of damage, some good trades off. But Clem's still struggling to get to maxed out. He also needs to secure this base over here as well. He's floating it down, starting sensor towers. He's got to keep his units over here. Right now, though, Clem is trapped in a bit of a frantic situation where he has been F2ing. Good Widow Mine shot. So he's going to need to try to gather up. But my god, the lurkers are here and he is not ready. His first 3 ghosts are only now in production. He's going to try and flank this position, but there is so much Ling Bane. The Baneling flank! Oh, forces a pickup. Kills a lot of the Marine Marauder. The lurkers are shoving in. Reynor absolutely relentless. He's got the double upgrades on those lurkers. He's not even continuing his Evo upgrades because Reynor is out for blood and he is shoving it right in there. Reynor getting in there hard and fast. Needs to move those lurkers forward. Ling Bane rolling in towards the natural expand. The lurkers are in range of the planetary. At least a few of them are. He's moving in towards the natural as well. Even just killing these depots are big pickoffs. The Ling's running in. The Widow Mines unable to slow the advance. Where's the tanks? Where's the ghost count? They're just not here. Reynor getting way out of control, way too fast, and just flooding over and overwhelming Clem. Holy crap, that does not feel fair. Bloody tsunami Zerg, man. It's like watching a child try and fight the fucking ocean. You guys ever do that? You try and throw sand in the ocean. You're like, F you, ocean, when you go to the beach. It's kind of futile. That's what Clem felt like there. Like a child fighting the ocean. Analogies. All right, guys, let's go. We got Clem in the bottom right side, and he's got to knuckle down and fight back because his opponent is, I don't know what he's been having before this series. Like, maybe Reynor's evolved to the next level. Is that 15 pool? Guys, he just did an extractor trick, Overlord, into spawning pool. What is this build? It's a bizarre build order. I think he might be doing like a Ling Flood or something. But there's no gas. I'm very confused, guys. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. He's gonna go hatchery. Is it a... It's a bizarre build order for Reynor. Is this just a 6 Ling pressure? Or an 8 Zergling pressure? Oh, maybe? No, he builds it. I'm so confused. I don't know what Reynor's build is. Anyways, Clem is just playing completely standard. He's going to scout with this SCV. Actually, he's down 2 games. It might be the time to just take a risk. Dude, it's like, just be greedy. Don't scout. Build the command center. Not a bad way to play, but no, he's going to scout with the SCV. He wants to play safe. Good idea, since it is pool first, and there are 6 Zerglings on the way. And a queen building up. The hatchery did start reasonably timed there, 1 minute and 8 seconds, so not too bad. Gas goes down behind it. So it's going to be a good old 8 Zergling pressure. He's going to try and sneak around the SCV. So does he send these 2 SCVs? Yeah, he's going to send these 2 Lings to be like, oi, I'll kill you. And then he's going to try and dodge with the other Lings. So this Lings that pop out, he's going to try and dodge the SCV. The SCV doesn't hang around. So he's just, yep, he's going to be able to go right past. Okay, cool. Now, Clem's very greedy. He often tries to chase the Zerglings down with the SCV and the Reaper because he thinks, oh yeah, there's just 2. Clem always does this. Clem is very greedy in this scenario. He does this all the time. He tries to go across the map anyway with the Reaper. And that means he is wide open to these 8 Zerglings. If they kill his command center, he's screwed. So what Clem needs to do here, reactor. Oh, his reactor's not starting. A few seconds late. Not the end of the world. This Reaper's going to try and do some damage. So he comes in and he's like, oh, no Roach Warren, cool, totally standard game. That's fine. But he's got 8 Lings. He needs to pull 12 SCVs and like fight this front on right now. The Lings are actually going to go for his reactor a little bit as well. He's got to pull the boys, man. That's not enough boys. He needs to pull a lot more boys. That's 8 Zerglings. That's not 6. You got to pull 10 or 12 SCVs. 6 is not enough. 6 is not enough, guys. SCV's doing some fancy micro. Clem does not pull enough SCVs, though. The Marine just got surrounded. I told you guys, it's not enough SCVs. That's 8 Zerglings. Oh, no. 6 SCVs go down. And Reynor is so far ahead. The command center is in trouble. Clem is just absolutely... he's deep in doo-doo. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead, man. Reynor all hopped up on protein powder, creatine. He's been taking TRT and shit. And Clem, on the other hand, man, I told you guys he gets greedy with that Reaper. He does this all the time, where he tries to go across with the Reaper and hunt down the first 2 Lings. And if they do a sneaky like that, they get past him. It's happened to him a few times. High risk, high reward play for Clem. Reynor just gets a crushing 3-0 in the upper bracket finals.